I'd just like to thank everybody for being here today. Distant relatives I don't see all the time. I do appreciate you guys coming out to celebrate this milestone in my life. My friends, thank you guys for coming out. You guys walked this journey of high school with me, and I love you guys so much. But really, on another level, I'd like to thank some really special people. So these people, sorry, this is weird. So like my mom, my brother Peter, my brother Steve, big thanks to you guys. My whole life, you guys have smothered me with love, and it made me feel like I was important, even though I didn't always think so myself. So I do appreciate that. So, Mom, where are you at? Mom, would you like to come stand up here with me for a little bit, Mom? Mom, I just wanted to publicly thank you for being my mom and serving out your duties and all that entails. I'm not always the easiest person to live with, and I do appreciate all you've done. I credit you for shaping me into the man that I became today. I'd like to think that I'm a man of integrity and character, and I owe that all to you. I'd like to thank you for helping me develop my relationship with God. As a child, forcing me to go to church even when I didn't want to. You always knew what was best for me. And so now, as an adult, I would like to thank you for that. Just shaping me into the person I am today. You've always instilled in me to be like a, how to say this, just be a stand-up guy. And I credit you that. All of us, really, we're all great sons, I'd like to think. And sometimes I actually kind of wish that you could raise my kids so that they turn out just as cool as we did. So I just wanted to publicly thank you in front of all of our family and friends to show you that I really do appreciate it. Next to the stage, we'd like to call Peter. So most of you that know Peter know that he's a very loud guy, and throughout my life, he's definitely been my #1 fan. And so I'd just like to thank you for always believing in me to do the impossible, even when I didn't think that I could do it myself. Growing up the way we did, not in the wealthiest of neighborhoods, but to think that we can get into these wonderful colleges like Yale and Harvard, it's really a dream come true. So thank you for believing in me. I'd like to thank you for sacrificing your childhood and your college years to provide for me so that I didn't have to work. That I really do appreciate that. Also, I just really want to, ultimately, you've been not only my brother, but you've been my father figure when my father wasn't there, and really you're just my best friend at the end of the day. Next, we'd like to talk to my other brother, Steve. Even though you're recording, feel free to come up here, bro. Steve has only recently become a really huge factor in my life, but I know that since he has been home, I felt nothing but love and support from him. When he does speaking engagements, he always mentions me as a sign of hope to others, And I don't see my life as that significant, but he does. He sees the worth of who I am, and I really do appreciate that. I appreciate the support he's given me, helping make this possible. The hats, that was him. That was really cool of you. And I just wanted to publicly thank you. So most of you guys are probably wondering where I'll attend college for the next 4 years. So before I give you just the flat out decision, we'd like to walk you through a little bit of it. So I applied to 7 different schools, 4 Jesuit, 2 Ivies, and Stanford, which is pretty much as good as it gets here on the West Coast. The 4 Jesuits were Fordham, Santa Clara, Boston College, and Loyola Marymount University. The 2 Ivies, as you probably guys already know, is Harvard and Yale, and Stanford is just, it's up there too. It's a great school, great school. So when I was making my decision, I was given essentially 7 full rides. So money wasn't really a factor. Money really didn't play a factor into my decision like it does into some other people's decisions. So the first college that I applied to was Boston College. I was not given the opportunity to visit this college, but I talked to a lot of guys. They love it there. It's the largest Jesuit school in the nation. It's in a great city in Boston. Boston's a great college town. There's something like 30 plus universities, all within that immediate vicinity of Boston. You know, there's Harvard, BC, MIT, Amherst, there's like tons of colleges, great. Like bunch of young people always having fun, so that's a great thing about BC. They have a football team, unlike most Jesuit schools. Like LMU doesn't have a football team, Santa Clara doesn't have a football team. And me being a pride leader, like my friends Mikey and Sam in the back, we go to all the football games and stuff like that, and we cheer our team on. We're proud to be at our school. And so having a football team to cheer on really did mean a lot to me, just so I feel like I could be a part of the school without really being on the team. And another cool thing about Boston College is that it has its very own graduate theology school, which means a lot to me because I'd like to study theology during my next 4 years. And so I thought it'd be really cool for me to study theology as an undergrad and then go directly into their graduate school program there. The next one on the list is Stanford. I visited Stanford as a senior, but not as an official visit. I had a conference there one weekend, and I went, but I didn't get an official tour or anything like that. We toured the campus, but I wasn't given any special treatment or anything like that yet, as you do when you go on official visits to colleges once you've been accepted. One of the great things about Stanford is that it's still in California, and California has amazing weather. It's close to home. I wouldn't have to go very far. It's driving distance, which means a lot, so that I can come home really not every time I wanted to, but it wouldn't be a hassle to come home if I needed to. Another great thing about Stanford is that they have great internships in the Silicon Valley for like business type stuff. Google's over there, eBay, great places to intern and get a job straight out of college. They have a great football team. They ranked in the top 10 in the rankings this past year. That was pretty cool. I'd like to go and cheer that team on, be a Cardinal. And they have a really cool major actually called Ethics and Society that just talks about what it sounds like, ethics and society, which is more along the lines of what I wanted to do with theology anyways, more philosophical, ethical theology rather than religious traditions. And just another cool fact about Stanford is that I'm a Raider fan, and it's close, you know, to the Coliseum, going to Raider games and such, so I thought that would be pretty cool to get myself season tickets starting at $200. That'd be pretty awesome. Next college is Fordham. Me, my mom, and Peter had went during my spring break as a junior. It wasn't an official visit, but we did get a really nice tour of the campus. It's a Jesuit school in New York. New York is also a great city, as some people probably already know. They have internships on top companies in Wall Street, which was really appealing to me, since I could graduate and make tons of money on Wall Street, as a lot of people like to do. And also, their mascot is the Ram, which to me is really cool because my initials spell Ram, Raymond Mejico. Just a cool little fact, just throw that out there. The next on the list is Santa Clara. I did not get to visit, but I have a lot of friends that did. They loved it there. They said it's one of the most beautiful campuses they've ever visited. It's great weather here in Northern California. Obviously, it's a Jesuit school too. It's in California, and that encompasses everything else, is being close to home, great weather, and things like that. They also, like Stanford, have great internships in the Silicon Valley. San Francisco is a nice city nearby for me to go out and go clubbing and to bars and whatnot. But they also have great theology classes as an undergrad. They have one class about homosexuality in the Catholic Church. They have one about environmental conservation and Catholic ethics. They had a class on the Virgin Mary and how that plays a role in Mexican culture. So little classes like that, it's a nice variety and a different view on theology that I'd be able to get. So I thought that'd be really cool. The next school on the list is Yale. I was able to go on an official visit in April, middle of April. They flew me out there, they paid for everything, it was really nice. I stayed there for 3 days. I went to a couple parties and things like that. Stayed on campus with some students. They covered all my meals. I was able to make great people while on the visit. People like to say that Yale's in a small town, and it is. It's in New Haven, Connecticut, which isn't a huge town, believe it or not. But I feel like I've gotten the big city feel for the majority of my life here in Los Angeles. And so it's not really something I'm going to miss per se. Obviously, big cities are nice to have, but that's not really something I was really concerned about. Another thing that Yale has to offer is that it's really undergrad focused. A lot of their resources are geared towards undergrad rather than graduate students, which is really promising for me. Another cool fact is that their colors are navy and white, like Loyola, and I tend to bleed blue. So I mean, I think it's really cool to just continue the whole blue thing we have going on here. It has a world-renowned divinity school, pretty much just like a graduate theology school. World-renowned professors, written books, done amazing lectures. I'd be able to learn from the best. That meant a lot to me. And as an Ivy League school, it's really prestigious, and I have a great networking, just a great network of people to choose from. I'll meet tremendously smart people, brilliant scientists and doctors and lawyers and politicians that I'd be able to call my friends later on in life. Next on the list, very similar to Yale, is Harvard. You know, Harvard. There's really not much to say about Harvard except it's freaking Harvard. It's also in Boston, or it's in Cambridge, which is pretty much Boston. It's a great college town, thriving, young people, energetic. It also has a great divinity school. So academically, at Harvard and Yale really couldn't go wrong with either one, obviously. Another cool thing about Harvard is that it doesn't have an honors program. And so that all the undergrads have the equal access to the resources that they provide. It's not like a certain class or a certain group of undergrads are kind of given more treatment, I guess. So that was pretty cool to me, since I probably wouldn't be like in the honors program at Harvard anyways. And but it's also close to New York, and New York's another great city. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the last school that we have here is Loyola Marymount University, located as close as all the other schools can get. I took an official visit in February when they had first offered me a full ride. They had really stuck out to me because less than a month after I had applied, they were already giving me the full ride. So that was pretty cool. They were really the only one that tried to woo me. Like other schools, they took the approach that I'm lucky to be there. But Loyola, they try to make me feel like they were lucky to have me. And you know, as most people know, it's really nice to feel wanted. And I definitely felt wanted there. It's like a 20-minute commute from my house. I could go home to do my laundry at my mom's, get a home-cooked meal. You know, it's really close, really nice. A lot of my friends are going there. One of my good friends, Ignacio, he's going to be going there. He's not here at the moment, but he'll be there. Even though I said that not an honors program is a good thing, LMU does have an honors program, and I would have been in that, so that would have been pretty cool too. I had a lot of connections already set up. I had an internship lined up already. I had a paid research opportunity investigating border ethics with a father. I'd be traveling to Mexico during my freshman year. That was pretty cool. And it was overall, it was just a great fit. And it has a great theology program that local schools in Los Angeles couldn't give me. And truth be told, one day I'd like to teach theology at LMU. So overall, it's just a really great fit. My friends, my family, what I wanted to study, and just being here with all of you guys. I wouldn't have to go anywhere. It was just really like a no-brainer. So with the tragic events in Boston, with the whole bombings and the manhunt, the entire city was on lockdown. I wasn't able to visit Harvard. And so they had granted me a week extension. Yale, realizing that most of their students are choosing between Harvard and Yale, also gave me a week extension. And because the admissions director at Loyola Marymount, he sent his son to Loyola High School, so we have a great relationship there already. He granted me a week extension to make my decision. However, the other four did not, and thus by default kind of kicked themselves out of the race to have me as a student. So really it just came down to three schools, Yale, LMU, and Harvard. And after about a month or so, a couple of weeks, a lot of just reflecting, talking to people, doing as much investigating and research as possible, and a couple hours of prayer, I came to my final decision. And I decided to take my talents to New Haven, Connecticut.